Recording it, it's Wednesday, June 1. Welcome to Herald NOW Business. Thanks to our partners, 2 Degrees Business. I'm Garth Bray, glad to have your company today. What do we have for you? Well, we have investor reaction to Air New Zealand's strategic reset after the CEO admits this is not where he wants the airline to be. A window into the world of trade with business confidence taking a jump in June. We talk to an organisation seeing it in real time. Plus, we go live to New York to discuss what's really driving Wall Street's rally and how unevenly some of those gains are spread. But in news moving markets today, well, Auckland International Airport released a master plan that would double its passenger capacity to 38 million a year over the next 2 decades, while Air New Zealand landed its strategy reset without a bump. More on that shortly. NZX, you were looking pretty yesterday, closing up at a high for the quarter, for nearly 4 months in fact, headed back to that January all-time high. ASX a 2.8% gain for the full financial year, I believe, lowest since 2022. Looking just more broadly in what's happening now on US markets, the NASDAQ is poised for about a 20% gain this quarter, I hear, biggest lift since 2020. S&P similar shape on the green, touching 7,500 nearly. Global markets sort of less even. European automakers dragging that stocks number down. Competition from Chinese EVs and headwinds from tariffs and the oil shock for them. Just grab a look at the currencies. You can see, oh no, where have we gone to? We've gone a little bit too far ahead there. We'll check out the currencies there. We're doing not so badly against the US, pretty flat against the Aussie for a change. And just checking that yen, very strong. The US to yen rate has dropped to a 40-year low, more than 162 to the greenback, despite $70 billion US worth of intervention from Tokyo to try and shore it up. And just taking a look at commodities there, that Brent crude front-month future dipped just under $73 US a barrel. Chinese refiners resume diesel and petrol exports from today. Bitcoin there under 60k US. We also had a GDT Pulse event overnight, by the way. Whole milk powder now at 3,500 a tonne US. Skim dropped sharply to 30.48. Around a 9.5% drop, I counted. It is just a Pulse event though, full of trade next week. Well, healthcare is showing signs of life after doing it pretty tough for a while, and a lot of pressure is coming on gold and crypto as the US dollar strengthens. Joining me now to catch all of that up in a bundle, Matt Goodson from Salt Funds Management. Matt, let's talk about healthcare. You've kept a close eye on CSL and so on over the Tasman. What are the trends that are coming out of there as we sort of close out the quarter?
Yeah, well, I guess for the last few years, the major healthcare stocks have been key parts of most investors' portfolios, and what we've really seen over the last year is an implosion of a number of these companies. So CSL peaked at about $330, back down to a bottom of $90. Likewise, Cochlear has fallen by a good 2/3 in Australia. Likes of Sonic Healthcare's halved. We've been spared a lot of the pain in New Zealand with Fisher & Paykel Healthcare, which has continued to track in the high 30s. And there's a few key differences, I think. The good thing about FPH is its products are absolutely essential in the intensive care ward. They aren't discretionary, and there's just continual growth in the demand for them. Whereas the likes of Cochlear, it's turned out that hearing implants have an element of discretionary expenditure associated with them, and for the consumers doing it tough in the K-shaped economy. And with CSL, well, there's elements of competition in their blood fractionation business. But if you make a major M&A acquisition, which they did with Vifor, and you get it wrong, then you get punished for it.
Yeah. Now, I know FPH manufacture in a lot of different places. I don't know how much of their trade is recognised in US to Kiwi, but is our dollar helping that kind of trade, perhaps?
Absolutely. Now, they do have very comprehensive forward hedging. They always have, and they always will. So it's a delayed impact, but the market tends to look through currency gains to a reasonable degree with them and really focuses on the core underlying business, and that continues to be rock solid. There's one element of fear, which the old Respironics business, which is now owned by Philips, their sleep apnea products will return to the market over the next 12 to 18 months. Yeah. But that these days is only about a quarter of FPH's business.
Just quickly on some of that gold stuff that we mentioned there, that's really what just sort of risk coming off as the dollar strengthens?
Well, gold has just been in the ascendancy for several years, surging through $4,000 an ounce. Now it's struggling to hang on to it, down around 13-14% in the June quarter. So a couple of things there. One is the strength of the US dollar. Everyone was expecting more Fed easing. It turns out that inflation is not going away in the US, so we're going to need to see hikes, not cuts, even from the new Fed President Wash. And also, gold's just been caught up, I think, with other risk assets, and rather than when the world's blowing up, literally, people buy gold. These days, it's been a signal to sell. It's almost a risk-on, risk-off asset. And central banks have been big buyers, and that's lessened somewhat. Not quite the impulse that it was over the last couple of years.
Now, talking about inflation, we had our own little look inside inflation expectations out of that ANZ Business Confidence survey yesterday. What did you take from that?
It was very encouraging. Look, we've seen a major negative supply-side shock from the oil crisis. We're hoping that unwinds. We're looking for the first signs, and yesterday's ANZBO was the first real sign, showed firms' own activity up a fair bit in terms of their outlook, not in terms of current activity, but encouragingly, firms' inflation expectations down from around 3.6 to around 3.3. Still above the RB target range, but expectations always do tend to be a bit, so it's the direction of travel that matters. And so that was actually activity up, inflation expectations down. It's the sort of combination that we just hope we see from other data over the next few months.
So, confident businesses, this is what we want. Matthew Goodson from Salt Funds Management, thanks for joining us here this morning. Air New Zealand says it's hitting the reset button to get the airline back on track, and investors say it's the right strategy, but the financial turnaround will take time, as Herald senior correspondent Katie Bradford explains.
When Western Sydney's sparkling new airport opens in late October, Air New Zealand will be the first international airline to touch down.
I have no doubt that there'll be demand for services into Western Sydney, and I think the decision to provide services in there is sensible.
We expect them to be profitable, otherwise we wouldn't do them.
New, hopefully profitable routes, part of Air New Zealand's strategic reset, but while that's positive, the turbulent times continue.
The New Zealand economy has been soft, domestic demand has been weaker than we would like, aviation system costs have continued to rise. More recently, fuel prices, and in particular crack spreads, have added further volatility and uncertainty. All of that has put pressure on our financial performance, and I want to acknowledge that directly. This is not where we want Air New Zealand to be.
So to get to where it does want to be, it's launched a strategic reset.
While we cannot control fuel markets, engine supply chains, or the broader economy, we can control how we build a more reliable and punctual airline, customer segments and markets we should prioritise, and how we allocate capacity and capital, and how disciplined we are on cost.
That includes making $100 million in savings, i.e. cuts.
$100 million in savings, where are those cuts likely to come from?
That they tell us that it's labour and overheads. In light of the fact that labour is one of their biggest cost buckets, it's no surprise that there'll be some headcount type reductions as a result of the initiatives that they're undertaking at the moment. But they haven't given us specific details with regards to exactly where across the business. My suspicion that it's quite broad-based and that there are cuts across various aspects of how Air New Zealand employ people and what they do.
But no idea of numbers, right?
No.
While new routes and destinations are being added, the airline wants to be more focused in its growth.
We will not chase growth for growth's sake, because growth on its own is not the goal. We will not add aircraft, routes, capacity or complexity, simply because that is how airlines have traditionally flexed their muscle. We're talking about growth when Air New Zealand has a clear advantage.
The immediate pressure is the lingering effects of the fuel crisis and high oil prices, but engine troubles have plagued the airline for the past 2 years.
And that's led to a large number of what they call AOGs, so that's aircraft on ground. So these are aircraft they own, but they cannot fly because of the engine maintenance requirements. So engines have to go back into the workshop, get some things mended, and then they come back into service. And we're now at a stage where the majority of their aircraft are no longer AOG, and therefore they have a fleet which they're able to fly the way they would like to fly that fleet. So that's very helpful for them.
Finally, all but 2 aircraft are back, engines ready to roar.
So we'll get most of the aircraft back into the selling schedule as early as November this year. There's quite a bit of crewing we need to orchestrate to make that happen, but we've been planning for that for a while.
It's hoped 2027 will be about recovery and that in 2028 the airline and its financial results will come soaring back. Katie Bradford for Herald NOW Business.
I do like the Air New Zealand app. Now, there's another app I like, which is the new Herald app, which is my cue to tell you that you should download it and take a look at it immediately. You can use the Herald Now app to watch watch what we're doing here, basically. It's available to download from your preferred app store, and you can head to the watch section. You'll be able to stream Herald Now. You'll be able to catch up on recent interviews that you might have missed and access that growing range of video content that the Herald is providing. If you haven't downloaded it already, get in there, give it a go. Coming up, US markets are pushing higher, but which stocks are doing the heavy lifting? And a June jump in ANZ's business confidence survey.
Here she is. How's the business going?
Good, actually. We just switched to 2 degrees. Well, we tested the networks and couldn't see any difference. But 2 degrees has free Aussie business roaming. With Flex, we get instant control of phone plans, data usage, and cost centre reporting. And they're the fastest growing business network.
Can I have what she's having?
Tap into what matters with the new, faster, smarter New Zealand Herald app by selecting the news topics that mean the most to you. Download the new Herald app today and make the news your own.
Hi, we're Maddie and PJ from The Hits, and we'd love you to hang out with us in the afternoon.
I started running marathons, Paige!
Right! Why don't you talk about it some more?
Oh, Paige, you're really missing out! Oh, this feels good!
Afternoons with Maddie and PJ on The Hits and iHeartRadio. Did we mention Maddie runs?
Oh, feel the burn!
In 1985, my grandfather set out to make the world a better tea. That's why we grow our own, unlike other tea companies. Then pick the best leaves by hand, not machine, and pack it right here in Sri Lanka. But it's not just the taste that makes our tea better. 15% of our profit goes to humanity. And to the elephants. As my grandfather said,
Do try it.
Oh, it's a proper Lamington.
It only costs a few dollars, but it all adds up.
What do you mean?
Well, every little donation we make contributes to something bigger.
How bigger?
Really bigger.
Still require a bit more information here.
Together, we are powerful.
Come on, Jeff.
Well.
Oh, look. Together, we make the chopper. Donate now to the Westpac Chopper Appeal.
Business confidence continues to improve here, with concern fading over the Middle East conflict. That's according to ANZ's monthly survey. Andrew Balgani is the Chief Strategy Officer of Trade Window. Now, you're a business that sees that growth in confidence in real time, Andrew. So what did you take from that news yesterday? Is it confirmation of what you're picking up?
Yeah, we're seeing strong demand for New Zealand export products. A lot of our customers are the major primary industry players. And so they're dealing with consumer staple products such as meat, seafood, horticultural products, timber. And yeah, demand year on year has been reasonably strong across the board. And so increased volumes are an encouraging sign. I think probably part of it is the weak New Zealand dollar.
We're cheap right now, aren't we? We're very cheap.
That's right. And so there's significant volume being exported. On the other side of the equation, we deal with freight forwarders and provide them the software to run their operations. And so we're seeing good volumes in the number of customs lodgements as well, which is an indication of goods coming in across the border, such as e-commerce trade and small parcels. So that's encouraging as well. But yeah, there's a lot of activity out there. If we look at our business model, it is driven by the number of shipments both out and in to the market. And so we're seeing a pickup in activity. If we look year on year, our trading revenue as at 31 March was up 17%. And so that's largely being driven by volume. If we look at
rather than by sort of inflation by cost price and increases. It's just more having more coming through the door. Right?
That's right. Yeah. So we're completely insulated in terms of our business model from commodity prices, and so we are looking just at the raw increase in volume across the border.
Right. How complicated is it? Because we should probably explain to people a little bit more what Trade Window does. I mean, how easy is it to export or import something?
It's not that easy, hence that's why we've seen an opportunity in the market. So basically what we do is we provide the software for exporters or importers to run their trade operations. And so we have a system that captures, formats and enables the sharing of data out with supply chain partners. And if we think about trade documents, which are an essential piece of getting goods from one place to another, there's a raft of documentation that you pull together which has got about 5,000 data points. So think commercial invoice, shipper's letter of instruction, packing slip. There's health certificates that you need from various agencies for food products or phytosanitary. And we're also an accredited issuing body for certificates of origin. And so we help solve that problem.
So, and are we talking just on Trans-Tasman trade here? Because looking at the annual report which you dropped out yesterday, it seemed like a lot of the customers are either side of the Tasman, but you're obviously handling exports and relationships much more broadly than that if you're dealing with the majors in New Zealand.
Yeah, so our customers are trading all around the world. In terms of, we're an exporter ourselves, and so we've got many customers in Australia. And so we're fast approaching about 50-50 between New Zealand and Australia. But yeah, our customers' relationships and what we're observing are worldwide.
That business confidence survey did pick up that there'd be a bit of trade disruption on the import and export side just recently. Have you seen that kind of thing showing up?
Not so much. Obviously the Middle East crisis was a concern for us, but our customers haven't been shipping a huge amount of volume up there, and in terms of goods moving through the Middle East, there's been workarounds, and so a lot of shipments being rerouted. So we haven't actually seen too much disruption there. We were concerned when things started kicking off in Iran, but yeah, it hasn't been a major disruption to our business.
So it sounds like you're in a pretty good position. What gives a business the confidence to sort of invest counter-cyclical, if you like, or are you very much aligned with the cycles that you're seeing in business?
Yeah, so with our customers, we are seeing as businesses grow, they get the confidence to invest in systems like ours, and it enables them to scale up in a cost-effective way. For us, we've also got confidence to invest, and we've actually embarked on a rebuild of our freight forwarding software platform, which is due for release in September next year for our initial commercial release. And so, yeah, we see that there's enough buoyancy in the market to justify going after new segments, new markets.
Oh, if you're shipping things, you really need buoyancy, don't you? Literally, sorry, terrible joke there. Thanks very much. That's Andrew Balgani joining us from Chief Strategy Officer at Trade Window. Now, right, wrapping business with 2 degrees now. We know the risk of buying a home that might flood or be swept away is looming larger, and businesses that are responding to that need to know for buyers, brokers, bankers and insurers. Tower's been leading the charge for risk-based granular pricing on home insurance and online. Westpac's done a deal to put that info onto its app from today. Councils already have free mapping websites showing flood risks. Translating that risk into its financial impact has been up to you to work out. The clearest signal has been a Section 72 notice under the Building Act that flags a property title as at risk from flooding, erosion, landslips or coastal inundation. That notice can allow the Natural Hazards Commission to limit or decline claims from one of those events, so it's news you need to know if it's your home or one you might be buying. Insurance brokers say it's not unusual for someone to discover that notice only when they want to sell or make a claim, and they're advocating for a central register for every property that a council flags. That sounds like something you could whip up easily with an AI assist and access to the right, good, clean data. And it sounds sensible when it's about buying a home. That's the biggest financial call that most will ever make. So my suggestion to the brokers, the bankers and the insurers is, could one of you please just get on and just do that? Well, that's us. Thanks to our partners, 2 Degrees Business. Up next, Ryan Bridge Today.
We just switched to 2 degrees. Well, we tested the networks and couldn't see any difference. But 2 degrees has free Aussie business roaming. And they're the fastest growing business network.
Can I have what she's having?
Why not target law-abiding living in fear in this country?
So we lower the cost of living by growing the economy.
Jobs, health, homes, cost of living.
Still critically endangered. That's why this breeding season is so important.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
The New Zealand Herald. News worth knowing.
We all have a routine to help us get through the week. But that doesn't mean it has to feel so routine. Because with My Food Bag, you can come home knowing you've always got a yum meal to dish up. With new recipes to try and plenty of favourites that are simple, healthy and always delicious. It's a dinner routine that isn't stuck on repeat. My Food Bag. Dinner done better.
Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Kaylee Bell, Jelly Roll, Megan Moroney, Chris Stapleton. All the country stars have come to play on the all-new iHeart Country NZ. Your new home for country is iHeart Country NZ.
Winning New World Emerge has brought me into the Foodstuffs family.
Winning Emerge has really transformed our business.
New World Emerge is a competition for small and emerging suppliers to give them an opportunity to have their products ranged in New World stores across the country.
Such huge amounts of support from New World. So we're in the distribution centre, we now have a 3PL, third-party logistics.
Whenever I need access to something, all I've got to do is reach out and ask.
We just switched to 2 degrees. Well, we tested the networks and couldn't see any difference. But 2 degrees has free Aussie business roaming. And they're the fastest growing business network.
Can I have what she's having?
Why not target law-abiding living in fear in this country?
So we lower the cost of living by growing the economy.
Jobs, health, homes, cost of living.
Still critically endangered. That's why this breeding season is so important.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
The New Zealand Herald. News worth knowing.
We all have a routine to help us get through the week. But that doesn't mean it has to feel so routine. Because with My Food Bag, you can come home knowing you've always got a yum meal to dish up. With new recipes to try and plenty of favourites that are simple, healthy and always delicious. It's a dinner routine that isn't stuck on repeat. My Food Bag. Dinner done better.
Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Kaylee Bell, Jelly Roll, Megan Moroney, Chris Stapleton. All the country stars have come to play on the all-new iHeart Country NZ. Your new home for country is iHeart Country NZ.
Winning New World Emerge has brought me into the Foodstuffs family.
Winning Emerge has really transformed our business.
New World Emerge is a competition for small and emerging suppliers to give them an opportunity to have their products ranged in New World stores across the country.
Such huge amounts of support from New World. So we're in the distribution centre, we now have a 3PL, third-party logistics.
Whenever I need access to something, all I've got to do is reach out and ask.
can't get enough. Yeah, do what I want. Still can't get enough. Yeah, do what I want. Yeah, can't get enough. Yeah, do what I want. Still can't get enough. Yeah, do what I want. Yeah, can't get enough. Still can't get enough.
We just switched to 2 degrees. Well, we tested the networks and couldn't see any difference. But 2 degrees has free Aussie business roaming. And they're the fastest growing business network.
Can I have what she's having?
Why not just target law-abiding living in fear in this country?
So we lower the cost of living by growing the economy.
Jobs, health, homes, cost of living.
Still critically endangered. That's why this breeding season is so important.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
The New Zealand Herald, news worth knowing.
We all have a routine to help us get through the week. But that doesn't mean it has to feel so routine. Because with my food bag, you can come home knowing you've always got a yum meal to dish up. With new recipes to try and plenty of favourites that are simple, healthy and always delicious. It's a dinner routine that isn't stuck on repeat. My food bag. Dinner done better.
Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Kaylee Bell, Jelly Roll, Megan Moroney, Chris Stapleton. All the country stars have come to play on the all-new iHeartCountry NZ. Your new home for country is iHeartCountry NZ.
Winning New World Emerge has brought me into the Foodstuffs family.
Winning Emerge has really transformed our business.
New World Emerge is a competition for small and emerging suppliers to give them an opportunity to have their products ranged in New World stores across the country.
Such huge amounts of support from New World. So we're in a distribution centre. We now have a 3PL, third-party logistics.
Whenever I need access to something, all I've got to do is reach out and ask.
G'day, good morning. You're watching Ryan Bridge today. It is Wednesday, the 1st of July. Pinch and a punch for the first of the month. On the show this morning, Brian Tamaki joins me live at the desk in our lead interview this morning. The cops have taken his guns. His firearms licence is under review. He says this is about free speech. I'll ask why. David Seymour is live on school lunches this morning. This report out that says half didn't meet nutrition guidelines. Plus we have a person at a hospital who passed away while in a waiting room, waiting 9 hours. Political panel debates this morning. And meet the Michelin man, Paul Froggatt of Queenstown's spectacular Essence restaurant has just shot to 2 Michelin stars. New Zealand's best chef will be here live after 8 this morning. Time is 7 o'clock. Now, it is good morning, and I do really mean good morning to you. 4 months ago, war kicked off in the Middle East, as you know. A year earlier, a year before that, a tariff war kicked off all over the world. And yet today, the following things are happening regardless of all of that. Wall Street is steaming ahead, on track to some of its best quarterly performances since COVID. S&P up 14% through Monday, Nasdaq up 20%. That's this quarter. Price of oil falling. Manufacturing activity in the United States at a 4-year high. At home, people always tell you the bad stuff, but they rarely report the good or stable stuff because it's a bit more boring, frankly, isn't it? Yesterday, business confidence was up. June. Net 37% of businesses are more confident this month compared to last. Despite the war and oil and shoppers being a bit more cautious, there's optimism out there. There's hope out there. Jobs. Remember they said jobs would fall off a cliff. People would stop hiring. Remember the employment survey that came out just a few weeks ago was the most negative, depressing read since the series began decades ago. Then we got the jobs number, Monday. We gained opportunities. We gained workers. On a net basis, we added